If you're handling a home in probate or trust, the sale of a home, these are a few critical things that you should know before accepting an offer. Hi, I'm Kim Ward. I am a real estate broker here in beautiful San Diego. Our company is Horizon Real Estate's Probate and Trust Help. We've been helping executors, administrators, and trustees for over 20 years to successfully prepare, market, and sell their loved one's home. We have seen a rise in kind of sneaky buyer tactics, and that's what I want to share with you about. These tactics, they can cause unnecessary delays, risk, and potential financial loss for the estate. We're going to walk through what to look for so you can protect yourself and the estate. You are the fiduciary for the estate, and we want to get you the best outcome for the beneficiaries and the family. First one is called the all-cash switcheroo. A buyer, they send over an offer to your real estate professional, and it's all cash. This makes, theoretically, the offer more attractive because there's no lender and less hassle. Once under contract, this is where they switch to a loan. They claim that it's because of tax situation or they want to keep their funds liquid. This is a problem because switching to a loan can cause difficulties such as appraisals, there's lender timelines, there's underwriting, and possible delays. The underwriting is the underwriting of the loan. It's the full approval of the loan. When we receive a cash offer, we always ask for proof of funds, which gets sent over from a particular bank that says, yes, this limited liability corporation, LLC, that's who usually are the cash buyers, has the funds available. So we verify that, but that doesn't mean that they don't try and switch it like I was just talking about. Here's a tip: if the assets that are sent to your real estate professional are in a retirement account or overseas funds, you should be skeptical. And the solution to this is to negotiate the price and the terms and include a clause that states that if the buyer switches to a loan from the cash offer, then you could cancel if you choose to. Now, keep in mind, this has happened to us a number of times, and when the price is so much higher than any offers that we received from other buyers, we might just go along with the loan situation. And of course, we monitor what is happening to make sure that we're not being drug along by a buyer that could potentially not be able to purchase the property. But if you're getting more money than you would from another buyer, it's worth taking a couple of weeks in most cases to allow them to switch. Next are loan contingency games. Let's say, for instance, the buyers have contracted to remove their loan contingency within 14 days of acceptance of the offer. And sometimes this actually includes loan approval. Sometimes loan approval might be 17 days, but let's consider everything at 14 days for this example. So when the time comes, the 14 days has arrived, and the buyers don't have what's called clear to close. They need to get that from their lender and the underwriter of their loan, and they don't have that. So they start wanting extended time. The problem is that the property is tied up, and until the buyer removes all their contingencies, they basically can kind of have a free look at the property and not have to go forward with the purchase. The problem is that you really can't make estate-related decisions until the buyers remove all of their contingencies so that you can move forward with the next steps comfortably. The solution to this is what we do. We are firm on our timelines. If the buyer's not removing their contingency according to the contract, then we send a notice to perform to the buyer. The way that works is they usually have 2 days to remove the contingency, but in most cases, the buyers move forward within that 48-hour period, removing the contingency, and we get to go forward with the sale. The next thing, which we don't like, is early move-in or asking to store things in the estate's property garage. Sometimes buyers will say, oh, can we move some furniture into the garage just a few days early? And it would seem like that might be okay, right? It's not. And the reason is because you and the estate are then liable for that furniture that is now in the property. if something should get stolen or damaged or someone becomes injured while moving the furniture in, that becomes your liability. The solution, it's simple. No move-ins, no deliveries, no giving them the keys, nothing until escrow closes and the title transfers to the buyer. And we'll circle back to that early key request. This happens more than you think because the keys are in the lockbox on the property. Some buyers, they'll request the keys early because they're traveling. It's amazing how many people are traveling during the escrow process. And then they think they need early access. There's been times where their agents have actually opened the lockbox and given the buyers keys early. Now, that's not so much of a problem because we get notified because of the systems we have in place. We get notified when the lockbox is opened, and then we can contact that agent and say, get those keys back and no early access. The reason we don't want to give them the keys is title has not transferred. It's not their home yet, and it goes back to that liability for you and the estate. And again, the risk is damage, injury, unauthorized work being done. One time years ago, I went past a property that was closing in 2 days, and there was a full-on contracting team inside the house doing work on it for the buyers. You can imagine what kind of conversation I had with the agent on that. So always wait until escrow closes, title's transferred to give the buyers the keys. The next is buyer and seller meetups. No, we don't want that to happen. That's why you have professionals that you're paying a lot of money to represent you and the estate. Some agents have actually recommended that the buyers and the sellers meet up to talk about things that they may not know about the home. And this can occur during the buyer's walkthrough, for instance, if the personal representative happens to be at the property for some reason. Especially here in California, a very litigious state, we keep the buyer and sellers away from communicating with each other because the personal representative may share information that they did not put on the disclosure documentation, and of course, as you are aware, could cause difficulty to the estate if something is said that was not put in writing, and then the buyer could potentially come back to the estate even after closing. Bottom line is any information needed should go through the two agents. I just had a client that was a traditional sale, and she wanted the buyer's phone number so that she could talk with her about various things once they owned the property. And I shared with her what I just shared with you. That's not a great idea, and we did not transfer the buyer's phone number to the seller to protect her from what she doesn't know. Backing up just a little bit is you do not want the buyers to have their contractor going into the property until after the close. Buyers will ask, can we please have our contractor go in so they can get a head start on the possible repairs that they're going to have done? When it's still the estate's property, you don't want to let anyone that doesn't need to be in the house into the house. Because of the liability, the potential damage, the problems that can happen, this is a hard no. Buyers can bring their contractor to the final walkthrough, which usually happens within 5 days of the close of escrow. And you're going to want to hire a qualified real estate agent that has the answers and the ability to really guide you through the whole process. Not all agents understand the unique challenges with a property that's in probate or a trust. You're going to want to ask the questions of any potential agents that you're considering, such as what about staging, what are the upfront costs, and how many estate properties they have been involved with in the last year or two. That way you'll know whether they have experience to really be able to guide you and protect you through this process. A good agent will save you time, will save you money, and save you emotional stress throughout the sales process. And the final thing is, as the personal representative, as the fiduciary for the estate, your job is to protect the estate. And that starts with working with the right team. Get yourself a great probate attorney, have a tax advisor, and then hire and work with a team like ours that has the experience, the skills, and the ability to really protect you through this. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell button to be notified of our weekly video, and you wouldn't want to miss any of them. Thanks for watching.